Welcome to Game Toppers Live, question and answer number 3. Today you have T-shirt Berkey with you, and you have the Grand Master of Logistics and our Operations Manager, Josiah Burkhardt-Smyer, my son. And we have a very special guest. I want to spend a little time doing a little bit of an interview with him. We won't take a lot of time for that because I know you have a lot of questions that you'd like to have answered. But our special guest is Raymond Haaken. Raymond, welcome to the question and answer.
Hey, hi guys. Thanks for having me.
Am I saying your name correctly?
Yeah. That's good. Thanks.
Raymond, he has a YouTube channel called Board Game Heaven. And we had the fortune of meeting Raymond at the Essen Spiel show in 2019, I believe it was.
Yeah, correct.
And in 2019, Raymond actually helped us a couple days just for a few hours in our booth. And it really was such an incredible help because he was able to help us with some of the German and translation, and just his enthusiasm for our product was really infectious. And then he became a backer. And even now in this campaign, he made a video with his own product. He did this without compensation. He bought all of his stuff, and he's very creative and very detailed. And his video is just a must watch, I think. It was really great if you want some of the intricate details, especially of the Holmes XL, and showing how that leaf system, and it's the same concept with the Watson or the Mycroft, that you can add the XL leaf to either of those models, and even an XL leaf to a Lestrade topper, for instance. But anyway, tell us a little bit, Raymond, about how you got started in the board game media. I'm going to turn my other monitor around so I can look at you versus looking left here.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, it kind of really just started with first with the board gaming hobby, of course, and I always like to take pictures of the games that I played, and I post them online and such. And I went to local conventions with some friends who also are in the hobby. I took pictures there, and it really started with just writing reports on these conventions, where I've been and what I've seen. And that kind of evolved into creating videos, because at some point at Spiel, I just got into contact with many publishers and some indie publishers, and I was just writing about the conventions. And at some point, I just brought my camera, and it had a built-in video recorder. And I just took some interviews, and I started locally with Dutch and Belgian conventions, just smaller ones. And I just edited those interviews into the big video of just a report on the convention. And that kind of just kept growing, and especially at Spiel, which is huge, it's enormous. I ended up with so much video material that I started cutting them up into separate interviews of each publisher, and they really appreciated that. And some of them just, said, "Well, would you like to review our games as well?" And so then I started doing reviews on the games. And at first, I just did some reviews of games that I just had myself, that I already had in my collection or that I bought at these conventions. And it just started snowballing from there. And it's been a great journey and a lot of fun. And last year, I crossed the 1,000 subscriber milestone, and I'm now over 1,300 by now, more or less. And that's just super, super fun. It's just really just fun to do, really. Yeah.
Did you have a background or anything in content creation or video skills prior to this?
Not really, actually. My wife is actually a photographer, and she does a lot of photography, so I kind of just watch what she does. But otherwise, like video creation, I didn't really do anything of the kind before that. I have an engineering background, actually, so it's not related at all. But I just started small with just a simple digital camera on a tripod, and I didn't have any microphones or anything. So the first of my videos are actually pretty bad. And then I just started investing in, like a lavalier microphone set to do the interviews mostly. And I started using them at home as well. And I just noticed the sound was a lot better. And then I bought some lamps, and then I just got some software to edit my videos a little bit easier. So yeah, it's really just
so you're mostly just self-taught then, most of the stuff that you do.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Well, your production quality is very good, and I can see like the set that you have. You're using the game topper, and you did something that was really unique because you had a nice setup before, but then you got your engineering, obviously got your creative juices flowing, and you made a base from some specialty calyx shelving. Tell us a little bit about that. That was really cool.
Yeah, well, I've seen people do similar things with several IKEA furniture, and I like the calyx. I have several behind me, as you can see. And people do modding, and they change them up so they're not just squares anymore. And I always liked that. And at some point I thought, well, I've got all these games, and I don't have that much room in my gaming room here, so I needed to add some more space. And I just looked up some ideas, and then I thought, well, I've got this great Holmes topper with the XL leaf. So I measured the underside basically, and I thought, well, how many of those 2x2 calyx shelves can I fit underneath? And I just drew it out, and I just measured it all, and then I got 4 of those, and I made them in like an H shape, 2 of them in the center and 2 of them at the heads. And I left off the top of those calyx shelves because that's a pretty thick wall that they have, and that would raise my table too much. So I left that off, and I just got a 25 millimeter MDF board, which is basically exactly the size of the underside of the Holmes XL topper. Yeah. And I just screwed it directly into where you would normally screw the tops of those calyx shelves. So I just fixed it all together, everything painted white, and the topper now sits on top of that perfectly, and I can put all those games underneath my table, and that works.
I have to really imagine that's super solid too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's also pretty heavy with all the games inside, but the good thing is, if I should ever need to move, I can just take it apart again and just move it like that. So that's
and then the overhang that you have for the topper, is that you have good leg clearance underneath?
Yeah, I've got about 35 centimeters of space between the edge of the topper and where the shelf sits. And since you sit at the rail, you don't sit against the rail, so you have good clearance. If you slide all the way against the rail with your body, your knees will touch. So it's just perfect.
Oh, that's really cool. I thought it was great. Well, tell us, we're going to have time to answer questions. And we have a quick little video we want to show you that we posted on YouTube about our fulfillment center that we want to go through live with you in a little bit here. But we also want to answer all of your questions. So tell us just a little bit, Raymond, about why game toppers was the right solution for you, and what did you like about it?
Yeah, well, I've always wanted a gaming table, and since I built my game room, I thought it was time to finally take that leap. And I looked into several options, but an actual dedicated gaming table is such an expensive piece of furniture. And well, first of all, I just didn't have the finances for it, especially after rebuilding my garage into a game room. And I thought, well, either I'm going to have to save up for many years to be able to afford it, or I'm going to look for a different solution. And that was about the time that I learned about game toppers. And I thought, well, that's perfect. It's modular. You can take it apart, you can store it, and it has these great mats, so you can change the mats. It doesn't have this fixed felt bottom, and I really like that idea as well. Plus, it has all the functionality. You can put your cup holders in the rails, etc., and that just works really well because I didn't want to put drinks and everything on the table.
Yep.
So it basically, game toppers have all the functionality of an actual furniture gaming table at a much lower cost. It was very affordable, and you can change the mats. And now you guys also have the leg kits and the leaves and everything. So it's almost the same, really, and it's such a good quality. I saw them at Spiel, and the material that you guys use and the aluminium and everything is just looks good.
Had you backed our project prior to us meeting at Spiel, or did you back it after meeting us at Spiel?
Well, honestly I don't remember. It was the second Kickstarter. I don't remember either. It was the second Kickstarter, so well,
yeah, that was, you would have backed it after then, because that would have been July of 2019. And we met in August.
So I backed it before. Yeah, so I backed it before because Spiel was October 19. That's what.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, I think we're going to go into some question and answers. Before we do that, do you have anything that you're seeing? Right now, I think what we're going to do is go through a little bit of the history of Game Toppers, just to give everyone a little bit of an inside view of Game Toppers. We're going to have Raymond here to help us with some of the questions. So feel free to start asking questions. This video is only about 2 minutes long, but up in 2017 is when our company officially launched. But it was in the works really in 2016 at Gen Con, and prototypes being made and brought to market prior to going to Kickstarter, so I could have a really good proof of concept that this was going to work for folks. And then we had a successful campaign in 2017, did almost $500,000 for our first campaign, and within the year doubled that, which was really encouraging to see that there was a good demand for our solution, and then it allowed us to immediately start thinking about innovating and getting our brand wider and offering more things to people. Our first Kickstarter we fulfilled with a different fulfillment company in a regional fulfillment center in Minnesota. After that experience, we thought, I think we can do it better, have more control. And so I started looking for property, and we found our fulfillment center. It actually was a property that was selling for about a year and in a commercial area. And the owner had decided he's going to retire and decided to go to auction. I am at Grand Con, Michigan, at a convention behind my booth, actually bidding on this property. So I had done a little due diligence ahead of time, but I couldn't be there for the auction because I had this convention. And so I'm behind there, and it's chaos in this auditorium. And I mean, yeah, okay, go 5, would you go 20 now? Would you go 30,000, 40 now? You know, I'm hearing the bidder go, and I'm on the phone. And thankfully, we were able to acquire that building at a really reasonable cost. We have 3.5 acres, so we can add on to it. It's just a mile out of our town, only about 8 minutes from my home. It's a really neat facility, and allowed us to bring all the product into this place to custom pick every order for every customer, so we can manage service so well. We can manage the logistics, the communication with our backers. And that's what I had a comment the other day from a backer that just backed this campaign, and he says, Berkey, I've looked everywhere and I can't find negativity on your company. It's almost alarming. Like, are you a real company? Because nobody's talking negatively about you. And honestly, it's we're not perfect. We've made mistakes. We've had shipping issues. There's been things that have happened that we couldn't control, but I've always felt it's not about the problems that happen. It's about how do you respond to those problems. Josiah is incredibly thoughtful. Likewise, he's taken a lot of the things that I've taught him and a lot of the things that I've expressed as important to us as a company. And he's been able to implement that for you folks so that if you have a problem, we can help you. We can take care of it. And of course, we have to always be reasonable about things, but we go over the top for our backers. And this facility was one of those things. And it costs us a lot of money to run our company to facilitate this, but it's the right way, I think, for us in the future. So with that, we are going to show you a quick little inside glimpse to Game Topper's Fulfillment Center. Hey, this is Berkey. I'm going to give you a quick virtual tour of Game Topper's warehouse headquarters. And with that, we're just going to flip this baby around and go for it.
Okay, hold on one second.
Oh, we're going to hold just a second.
I don't think the audio is going through on the stream because I didn't set it for that.
We're going to turn the audio on here. This is what they call dead air. All right, we're going to back up and we're going to show you the outside. Briefly, at the end, you'll see the outside of the property. Hey, this is Berkey. I'm going to give you a quick virtual tour of Game Topper's warehouse headquarters. And with that, we're just going to flip this baby around and go for it. Okay, here we go. We're running right into Game Topper Central. Really crappy little video. You walk right into our office. So you have our conference room area, shipping, logistics, and these type of things happen right here. And we go through this door and we go into our clean pick room. This is where all of our 162 SKUs of game mats sit, plus all of our accessories. When we custom pick your order, it gets set on these tables and all of the items are individually selected. You can see we have a potload of stuff. These here are Virtuoso game bundles for the cup holders. These are cup holders stacked up, all done, and dice towers and all kinds of accessories and shipping type of things. Our rail bundles and extra accessories, extra packaging, all kinds of goodies like that. That goes into here. And then we also have a restroom over there. Now we're going into the warehouse. And at the warehouse, you're seeing our loading dock and our lift. Got stuff going on there. And here you're seeing all of the inventory at Game Toppers. Lots of toppers, different sizes. These are all overstock mats that we prepared for Wave 2 delivery. Meeple, our Lord Burton racks and everything up there. Viking sculpted toppers, more toppers, leaf bundles. Up on top, we've got excess corrugate and storage bags and our show kit. In our back area there, we have leaf bundles. And this essentially is our warehouse. The total building is about 5,000 square feet, and it allows us to pick your custom order very efficiently. That essentially is Game Topper's warehouse. You know, I think what's interesting is we still are a small company, but we are, growing, and we're able to do a lot of things that.
I'm sorry, I left a gentleman alone.
Oh,
It wasn't playing.
okay. We really are working hard to take care of everybody really well, and so that's something that we really take care of. There's always all kinds of issues that happen with customer service, like emails go to spam, or tracking numbers don't get, someone doesn't find their tracking number, or, there's there's times we can just make mistakes, but we're very diligent about not doing that. But there are things beyond our control sometimes that happen. But if you always email us at support@gametoppersllc.com, you can always email me at berkey@gametoppersllc.com as well. But realize too, if you don't get a response or something, or if there's something going on, please follow up, because we might not have gotten it for some reason, whether it's a spam issue or something of that nature. But we do work really hard to take care of our customers, and that's our top priority, and that's the honest to God truth. So I think you'll find that about us. So please avail yourself of that service, because that's what we really are about. The Fulfillment Center helps us do that. So with that, I think we're going to move into some questions and see what people have to ask.
Only one so far. So James just asked, I have a Game Topper 1.0. Can I order the double mat bundle on the Kickstarter, or is that just for the new Game Topper backers?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, anyone can order our double mat bundles. So you can order them either by selecting the single mat pledge in the Kickstarter, and there'll be a question in the pledge manager that will ask you if you want the second mat for the bundle price, or there'll be add-ons that you can do in the pledge manager to select as many double mat bundles as you would like.
Yep, it's this double mat bundle is a really great deal, because not only are you getting 2 mats at a discounted price per mat, you're getting 2 of those premium storage bags, and these are nice storage bags. They have a clear plastic window so you can see which mat is in there. That cost me quite a bit extra to make those bags that way. In addition, it has hooks on both ends so you can hang them if you like. It also has a nice carry or shoulder strap type of carrying mechanism. It has a double zipper so you can zip it from both sides. And they really work great. And they fit in all of the mat racks, which is really kind of cool too. And you're getting a big discount. One of the things that we are hopefully going to unlock is 2 big mat bundles. You'll see the stretch goals at $500,000. We're going to unlock the JJ Burkton, which is the 4-hole unit, the one that's sitting behind me, and it gets 4 mats of your choice of style in 4 different sizes. There was a few questions about this. You get to select the style. You can get the adventure mat or the dungeon mat or any of the mats that we've unlocked, but you have to buy 4 like mats, like the Adler size, and you can get 4 styles of the Adler or the Watson or the Holmes. We can't mix and match. That's a limitation of the software. But I have made it worth your while. When you see the prices, even if you were to buy like 2 double mat bundles and buy the mat rack, this deal is way better. And I did that because I wanted to reward our backers. And this is the best way I can pay back, in a sense, with extra discounts for those that want that product. And likewise, we're hopefully going to unlock the Lord Burkton rack, which is the 6-hole rack with the double bars and your choice of 6 styles. Woo-hoo! And that one there, you almost get the mat rack free. That's like a $250 deal. So I made it sing. I really did. It's a big spend for people, but those that want a 6-pack, and I had a lot of requests for that, I thought, okay, I got a lot of backers that want extra mats. We got some new cool mats, plus they might want to add to some of our existing really cool mats, and boom, that's why it's there.
James asking a follow-up question on what is the shipping rate for the single mat. So it depends on where you're located. At the bottom of the Kickstarter page, we have our shipping tables, which do a very good job of, depending on where you're located, telling you the shipping cost. Mm-hmm. But in the United States, it's $15 for a mat. However, if you buy the double mat bundle, you end up getting both mats shipped for only $20. So you get a big savings there.
We've really been able to do well with our shipping rates, and this bundled shipping scenario with small accessories. Some things are packaged separately, like our leg kits will be a separate package. The The leaf extensions are separate packages, the rail bundles, but we have very nice rates on that. And when you buy extra mats, we can bundle them. If you buy 3 mats, we can bundle them, and it's a fractional increase as well. So that's one thing we really try hard to do, so that you don't get a bunch of add-on shipping if possible.
James says the 4-mat bundle sounds good. I think he's asking what the stretch goal number was for that.
The stretch goal was 500,000, I believe, on the 4-hole. We haven't established the stretch goal yet on the 6-hole. We really need to hit some numbers for me to offer all the things that I want to. That's one thing I did want to talk about stretch goals. It's a challenge when you run a Kickstarter, because you don't know how fast the momentum is. I know business-wise how much revenue I need to be able to do certain things. I know how much I'm willing to forecast to purchase extra product after the campaign and all of those things. But there are certain hard costs that I have to evaluate very carefully. When you saw our video of all the mats that we have, I mean, Josiah, when I say we're going to add new mats and we're going to offer it in 6 more styles, he looks at me and goes, "What?" I mean, do you realize how much square footage I have dedicated in that warehouse so I can provide options for you? That space is not cheap. That scenario to order all those, I figure every time I add a SKU to our styles, it's between a $9,000 and $12,000 decision. So it's not flippant when I said we're going to add this or we're going to add this, and then when I say it's going to be hard for us to add that, that's why. It's there's a lot more that goes into the backside of that decision, but I'm like you guys, I want all the options. And so if we can provide them, we're going to do that. And I think the new mats that we have, people are loving that new Rome mat. They're loving the pirate mat. Just got unlocked at 400 grand. It was like we're hitting the point in our campaign where things kind of stall. You got people coming in and going out and all that kind of stuff, which is kind of normal. So Kickstarters are a roller coaster when you're a creator. You know, you're but the 400 goal, 400,000. It's like it was this mountain to climb, and then all of a sudden you guys broke through. We got to the top, and the pirate mat was unlocked. And this thing is, when we rolled out our sample. And we actually made a few fixes to a couple little things that we caught. But it was like, this is the real deal. I mean, I was already in love with the Rome mat, and I was in love with the Great Wall by Vincent Dutrait. I mean, they're amazing. The Viking mat, last Kickstarter, was our #1 seller, for those of you that are wondering. The Kickstarter before that, the Adventure mat, was the #1 seller. The Crimson Red sells really well, but then all of the thematic mats, you know, the space mat, the dungeon mat, the Ryan Lockett mat, the new wood grain mat, the fantasy, and the scythe inspired resource mat, those were all right up there in a grouping of top sellers. So and the Wartrain Green sells really well too. I'm wondering, I'm going to do some polls because we want to get everybody's feedback on maybe this possible backer's choice mat idea, and we're going to get your input, but we'll let you vote on what are your favorite mats, and we'll kind of go through. I know what our top sellers are, but it'll be kind of fun that I can reveal that to everybody. And I think a bunch of people are going to come back in and get some of the mats that they haven't had because maybe they like the Viking really, really well and wanted the red one, but then just decided to wait on some of the other ones, but now they want them. So what's your favorite mat, Raymond?
That is a difficult choice. I love all of the mats. They're so good. I mean, the quality is great, and the colors, they really pop. The print quality, not just the material quality, is also very good. And I really did like the the adventure mat. I use that a lot. But when I saw the Great Wall by Vincent Dutray, man, that is just phenomenal. That is absolutely beautiful. I really love that. Yeah.
It's a win. I can't stop looking at it. It's just like, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Vincent is an interesting artist. I love this guy. He was one of my favorite artists to work with. Yaroslav is also just fantastic. He's an art professor from Poland who did our Scythe and Fantasy and Viking, did our Rome mat that we used the partnership with Arcane Wonders from the Foundation of Rome game. And they offered quite a few mats. They bought a lot of them from us to supply to their Kickstarter, and in a 3x5 size. And that allowed us, we had our artist do it, Yaroslav, to make the Rome mat. But Vincent, he has a different process. He actually paints on canvas. He lives in Korea, and in the interaction for a while, he had to pause for about 3 weeks because of humidity and his canvases and his paint. Isn't that something? It was just, and what a gentleman. I mean, he was so great to work with. I love him. I hope that he's in very high demand. I hope he seemed to really enjoy working with us. So I hope we get to have him do something else for us. That would be really cool. I love him to death. Looks like James has a question.
Yeah, so we have a couple of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Dirk was asking, any possibility of a 4 or 6 mat bundle without the racks, in case we already have existing mat storage options?
That's a good question. I've kind of factored everything in with those stretch goals. So at that point, reworking all the numbers and how that all works out might be a little hard. You'd probably be better off to just do the double mat bundles. The way we've priced the double mat bundles and the way we've discounted we basically are pretty much taking all the profit out of the mat racks. So I don't know if I'd be able to backward that out well, and then that might cause that special to not be what we're hoping to get out of that. So I'm not sure. I have to think about that.
You can always get multiple double mat bundles.
Yeah, that's still a fantastic deal, and the shipping would be significantly less also. So that was part of the equation.
Then James asked, can you do a little demo of the new cup holders? I have the 1.0, just want to see the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm using a double cup holder over here that you can't see, but I'll grab one from behind. This here is the single cup holder, and I'll put it up to the camera here. You'll notice that we now have a component well here. And one thing that's really cool about this component rail, the camera work's not going to show this very well, but when you plug it into your rail, you can put your cell phone against this. I'm not sure if my graphic there, if you can see it, but the cell phone catches the lip and right against the rail and becomes a really nice holder. When you use the double component tray, it works really nice with a tablet also, like an iPad or whatever. But the collapsible cup holder is one of the innovations that's really amazing. This is a material called Sarlik. It's a heavy-duty rubberized material that's dishwasher safe. It collapses like this. You'll notice that there's a hole here for your cans. And then this can expand like this. It's really cool. And what this allows us to do is to be able to handle larger water bottles, cups with handles. And this just fits into a gasket. There's a little channel right up here that this little gasket actually is designed to fit into. And it fits really nice and snug. You can put it either way. So if you want the can towards the front or the back, you just reverse it whichever way you want. They're very modular and very easy to install. Now, for instance, I have some coffee in here. This particular coffee mug, better not spill it here. I think I have, bear with me a second. And I think I might be able to help show you on the camera from my side angle here with my monitor. So here's the Berkey's coming in from the side. All right, here's a close-up view. Now with a standard cup, for instance, this here fits in there really nicely like that. So you can still grab the handle. It also allows you to do larger water bottles, and this fits in there. Now, one of the things, depending on the size, because of this hole, if you have something that's kind of a weird shaped bottle that's in between sizes, if it's bigger, this works just fine without a bottom coaster. But if we noticed people that had some of these square bottom, and it'll still sit in here fine, but if it doesn't get set perfectly, it kind of tips. It's not going to totally go over. Well, that's why we came up with these really super cool coasters. And they're 4 millimeters thick. They're rubber, very similar material, and they just sit in here. So now you have a flat bottom surface. You can roll dice in there. You can put chips in there. It could be a chip holder. Seriously, you can do it's dishwasher safe. But now you have the square bottles, and you can put it anywhere, and they don't tip over. And so it provides that little bit of extra rigidity. On our last campaign, we were going to do some acrylic bottoms, and then we found that wasn't needed, and we made a stretch goal. So we decided not to do that, and we kind of let everybody know about that during the campaign. But the more we thought about it, we felt like we needed to do something extra for those that would like that. Okay, so that's the functionality of the cup holders. The other thing that we are offering is the double cup holder tray. And this is basically the same thing. You notice here we have one side, we have the coaster in this side, and this one is the empty side. We have all these component wells. This here is designed so that it can go over your connector cleat in the center of your table, but you can still put it anywhere else you want. They're very heavy duty. I take these things and I drop them on the cement floor all the time on purpose. I'll slam them down, and I've never had one break. I'm not saying that's what you should do with them, but that's how good a quality this material is. It's very expensive, and this year my parts of this have over doubled because of resin and plastic shortage supply issues. But it's beautifully finished. It really works great. And these are strong enough to hold a laptop computer. We unlocked a cover that is made out of heavy cardboard, just like your board games, the actual board. So it's a heavy 2.5 millimeter that'll make a nice surface. So when you put your notebook, tablet, or just bits on it, that's a lower cost solution that I'm including in every one of these. But we've also unlocked our stretch goal for the clear acrylic covers. We're going to have logos. We have some of them with our colored logo. The new logos are going to be etched. I'll show you this one here too. So I have a pen here. We have 4 of these acrylic sheets. They fit in flush to, oh, this is the other size one for the Gen 1. We have some sets. If you own Gen 1 cup holders, we have some acrylic on our shop. But this here has dry erase pens, so these can be score cards. So if you need to write notes, or if you're having a D&D campaign and you want to be able to write something or whatever, it also provides a nice clear platform. And we have a set of these. Acrylic prices likewise have gone through the roof. It's been a difficult year when it comes to what our cost of manufacturing has done. But nonetheless, we're offering these as a premium option. And when we talked about stretch goals, if we can hit some big numbers, I'm going to do some really special things for y'all in the packages. So we're making them available so anybody can get them, and we're giving them to you at a sale price. but we're also have some really cool stuff planned that we haven't even shown you yet. But we need to keep the momentum going so that we can do that. So that was a long explanation, but hopefully that was helpful to our backers to see the functionality.
Gavin asked, is there a price for the coasters to order separately for those of us who have cup holders from the last Kickstarter? Didn't see them listed on the Kickstarter page.
Yes, they're right down on the stretch goals, and they have been unlocked. That set is normally, I think it's $59 or $69 for 2 big doubles. Maybe it's 49. 2 big doubles. Oh, are you talking about these coasters or the clear acrylic?
I think those, because from the last Kickstarter, they should have acrylic already.
Oh, okay. These are called the bottom coasters. These here, yes, they're unlocked as a stretch goal. Get a set of 4 of them for $9.99. The retail on them is $20. With every package, you actually get a set of 4 of these now. And a package is defined as the Accessory Package, the Scotland Yard package with the Watson, the Baker Street package with the Holmes, and the Reichenbach Falls package with the Mycroft. You get a set of 4 of these free, and you can add more of them. And these work great just on your coffee table. I love these things. These are awesome.
We have Lance Mikester. Can I get a game topper completely made out of Happy Meal spice?
I knew there would be some fun question that Lance would bring to the topper, not the table. Lance is such a good friend of ours, and he's enjoyed. I have a spice company called Burke's Happy Mouth Signature Spice, 14 premium spices. I used to cook professionally years ago, and we use it a lot. And Lance is a big fan of our spice, especially on pork. I think he enjoys, and he's been a big fan of what we've done. He works for Gray Fox Games. Check them out. They're actually on GameFound right now, where they're doing a reprint of their deluxe version of After the Empire. And man, we love that game. We played After the Empire on our castle mat. And it was like, it couldn't have been more perfect. It was just awesome. And that game is really cool. And I think they're going to be coming up with some expansions in the future too. But anyway, thanks for joining, Lance. Good friends.
I think we're caught up on questions.
I see some other comments there, or am I missing something?
Yeah, there's some other comments just talking about the cup holders. Gavin found the price of the coasters.
Okay. One thing that's going to be nice about all of our accessories, everything that we're unlocking and hope to unlock, a lot of this can be purchased through the a la carte feature. And in the Pledge Manager, it's going to ask you a series of questions. So it's going to be very easy for you to add on what you'd like. If you want to put a bigger dollar amount to help us achieve some stretch goals, you can do that. And then you can still use that as a credit in the Pledge Manager, but continue to add on if you want to change from your package, to add a leaf bundle. It's very simple to do that. If you want to add extra mats or coasters, it's a real simple process. The only limitation is if you want a wave 1 delivery of those items, and several of those are already gone now, there's only a limited amount for that early July, August delivery time frame. Get in on that stuff now. That's something you're not going to be able to change as easily. So, but wave 2 is right on its heels in October and November. I mean, how many Kickstarters fulfill that soon? We hope that everything will go well. Right now, everything looks very good for that. We've already done a lot of preemptive planning and planning with our manufacturer about all that.
And that's for the U.S. and Canada.
U.S. and Canada, thank you. Thank you.
And then October, November for U.S. and Canada. International, other than Canada, so overseas deliveries are currently looking at Q1 of 2022. So
Correct. Good clarification. Thank you. All righty.
Ryan asked, without spoiling surprises, can you tell us what game themes you are thinking about doing for future thematic mats?
Well, there's been a lot of suggestions, and I think what we're going to do on that is actually open that up and get some ideas. We've had people that would, we actually have a plan already. We'll see if it's desirable, but for a train theme mat, and taking a look at different directions with the art direction. So it could be maybe an Old West kind of meets Victorian Age of Steam type of thing. Take a look at that. Maybe a little bit of a collage of a progression. That's a possibility. We have a lot of people that have asked for just an all water map. So it's just water. Desert is one that's been asked for, a Mars type of theme. We've had a little bit of request for just like a star field that's more black, all stars. So there's a lot of things that some people have wanted a horror mat. That gets a little tricky because there's so many different ways to do that. And whatever we do, we want to make it so that you can play a lot of games. So we want to make sure that it's not specific to one thing. We want it to, have a feel where you can play a lot of things on it, and the color palette will match a lot of games and the theme.
Steve says, looking forward to this a lot. Previously got the Baker Street package, but looking forward to that Cthulhu mat, plus a bunch of other things. Awesome job.
Thanks so much, Steve. I'll tell you a little story about the Cthulhu mat. I only have a couple Cthulhu games, so I'm not a big Cthulhu student, and know a little bit about it, of course. But I started asking some questions, and I had an amazing conversation with my good friend Richard Launius from Arkham Horror fame, and he's designed a lot of great games. Freedom 5, the new Arcane Wonders game that is in the Sentinels of the Multiverse, but it's really a Defenders of the Realm remake and improvement and all kinds of stuff. What a great guy. Richard owns 2 of our game toppers, and we were at Grand Con, and he goes, why would I want this? And I said, well, we're going to play his Batman game. And so we had a game with IDW, and we came over there with our Adler topper, set it up. He set up Batman, and we played. And the whole time, he was just fondling the rail. He was like, oh, this is a lot nicer. And I'm putting the cards in the slot, because this card slot feature is so cool. And, just to have that. And he was really digging it. And he wasn't interested, and all of a sudden he goes, wow, this is way better than I thought. This is really awesome. He ended up buying 2 Holmes toppers for his playtesting group. Well, anyway, we've developed a friendship, and I just love him. I asked him about Cthulhu, and I asked him about what themes would work good, and what do you think? And we went through a study of all kinds of different pictures and whatnot, and that's where we came up with this Cthulhu version. There's obviously all kinds of things we could have done with a haunted house and cityscapes and all kinds of different things. We have had people ask for city maps too. Anyway, it was just a really fun process to involve him on it and get something that we felt would bring that theme into play. And it's really beautiful.
Lance says, serious question. I apologize if this has been asked or answered. Dice Tower options, ?
Oh, thanks so much, Lance. Yes, we have our Dice Tower system. I have one set up right now on the rail here. And what's nice about this system, they have these legs that I got stuff in here I don't want to tip over, but there are legs that they pop right into the bottom of the tray. And then you just hook this tray on the rail. The tray actually goes into a little dice corral, which is really cool. And that keeps the dice in place. And then the dice tower fits on the dice accessory tray in the grooves. And then the dice shoot out. There's a front ramp. If you drop your dice there, they bounce just really nicely into the corral. But this dice component tray has these component wells that allow you to hold all your bits. You'll notice that there are some slots that are here, and this is a preemptive move so that we can actually put in privacy screens. And we have a design ready that's coming as a stretch goal. Hopefully next week we'll be revealing that. We have a lot of fun stuff that are things that are going to help elevate everybody's gaming experience. These dice tower trays, they just fit so nice on the tray, on the rail, and then they can just slide back and forth to anywhere that you're at. And honestly, I think it's great to have 4 of these. If you have a 4-player game, everybody can have one on the corner next to them to hold all their bits and coins. And then if they want to roll dice, and they're just super cool little system. And there's a double dice tower bundle that was or I think it's unlocked. Yeah, it's unlocked, that you almost get one whole set free. So it's a great deal, and you can add that to any of your packages.
Brandon says, all those are good suggestions, thinking about the mats. So how does the Texas Hold'em mat sell? And could I throw in a suggestion for craps table mat, maybe?
Oh, Brandon,
of interest. That's
a great thought. And we actually have some ideas for the home casino market type where people are playing poker. We do have a blackjack mat, but it is we have a few left. It honestly didn't sell very well. I love it. It's got a little derringer and little whiskey glasses, and it's a really cool mat, but it's for a different audience. The Texas Hold'em sells okay. Again, it seems like the gamer audience that we anyway connect with are less interested, but it's really cool for just Western games. It says Texas Hold'em in the middle, and it's awesome to play poker because we love poker. And we have these super cool poker chip trays that lock into the rail. You can see that there. Lance Meister is a big poker player and has some of the most amazing clay poker chips I've ever seen. These here are the Roxley game chips here, but you can hook in the rail legs and hook this on your rail, or you can just hook it right into the under rail like your cup holders. And it's so cool when you're playing Texas Hold'em. So that's kind of neat. The Texas Hold'em mat, what was the rest of the question? I get talking about all the fun stuff, and then
I was asking about the craps.
Oh, craps table, yes. We even have thought about doing something with roulette, and doing a custom mat for that, and getting a little roulette table. So there's some things down the road that we might look at and go to a larger market, maybe even to an Amazon marketplace, and be able to do some of those things. Do you have the Texas Hold'em mat, Raymond?
No, I do not.
Which mats do you have?
Let's see. I showed them in my video, and from top, I've got the space mat, which is nice for all the sci-fi and space games. I've got the terrain green one. I've got the adventure one, the scythe inspired one. I've got several more. I've got the blue one.
Okay, yeah,
very nice.
And, yeah, especially with your colors in your studio.
yeah. Well, it's a nice just single color for when you're recording a game that is not themed per se, and it's a nice quiet background. So it's a really nice table a nice mat to have on your table. And I have the fantasy maps as well, which is also really nice. Lots of details.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got that whole Lord of the Rings type. You got a dragon flying around, but you've got the orcs down on the bottom fighting the wood elves, and you've got a dwarf standing up there in the dwarven fortress, and all of that. Please, if I know I'm answering a lot of questions, I tend to talk pretty quickly to try to get to everybody, but if you have any specific questions for Raymond, Raymond is from the Netherlands, and if you have anything that is specific to European experiences or shipping or anything of that nature that you want to ask Raymond directly, please ask those questions here too. And it could be about anything. We'll answer whatever you want to talk about. I noticed there's a question from Ryan, or is it a comment?
Yep. So Ryan says, question for Raymond. I believe I saw you create a base for your topper out of IKEA Kallax. Did you have to reinforce them for stability? My calyxes move when I push them. Are these working for you?
Yeah, well, your standard calyx is indeed not super stable. You really have to fix them to the walls. I did that for the big ones as well. But I use 2x2s, which are a lot smaller, and they are pretty stable by themselves because they're just not that big. And especially when you put some weight, like your board games, inside them. But what I did is, like I said before, I took off the top part. So basically, I just made a U frame with the cross shelves, and I measured the holes that you need to screw the tops in, and I took one big MDF 25 millimeter thick wooden plate, a leaf, and I measured out the holes, and I just screwed that entire leaf onto those 4 calyx shelves, and that just keeps it all together, and it can't go anywhere. So that basically just connects everything, and it makes it very stable. And you can't move it. You can't move it at all. It's really stable.
Yeah,
So,
I can see that.
You don't need cross supports.
All righty.
Lance says that dice tower is awesome. I'm driving to your warehouse right now.
Lance only lives about 50 miles from us, so it's always a pleasure when we get to meet Lance. And the day is coming where we're going to get back to great big old bear hugs, because I'm a hugger, and I know Lance is a hugger too.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Ryan says, accessory suggestion, dice tray box for rolling dice in the box that slides along the rail using the dice tower leg attachments. It's like a dice tray up here, I think.
Up on top. Yeah, that's a possibility. The thing with doing that, it really requires a mold injection. These molds are crazy expensive. If I manufactured them overseas, I could definitely get my costs down. That's one of the biggest savings, is the molds are much more affordable overseas. The manufacturing of the parts themselves are not that much different domestically when you figure in how much it costs to ship the product over. I've looked at all those things, but every time I make a new mold, you're talking a $6,000 to $10,000 decision. So then we have to find out, okay, is there enough demand? And one thing I love about Ryan, I'll just give a little kudos to this guy. We've interacted a lot during this campaign, and he's just so excited about all the possibilities as he's explored Game Toppers and all the versatility. This is what we do as gamers. How can we make it better? What new ideas can we do? And he's thinking, and he's much like I am. It's like, I'm always wanting to get better. I'm always wanting to figure it out. It doesn't mean it's always possible. And that's where the business side of things come into play, that you have to really do thoughtful feasibility studies, sometimes market survey to gauge demand. Sometimes it's a small financial decision and you can just, I can do that. Other times it's like, okay, is this just a distraction? Does this cause a problem with logistics? Is this just for a small group of people and it wouldn't make sense for me to do it, even though I would think it's a great idea? So there's always that kind of thing. And Ryan understands that really well. So he's always throwing out these wonderful ideas. And I want to give him kudos for that and let you know how much I appreciate it. And likewise, invite those kind of thoughts. We're happy to listen. Just understand that I can't always do all the ideas. So understand that. We'll do our best.
Ryan says, thank you for doing these Q&As. And he said, haha, thanks. It's true.
Excuse me.
Brandon says, Ryan's mat was made for Everdale. Beautiful. The Ryan Lockett mat.
Oh, that Ryan Lockett, he is so amazing. And what a kind, gentle individual he is. He's just, he's a Renaissance man. He's multi-talented. He does the art. He does the design. He does the publishing. He does the the whole production of his product and the marketing and with his wife, and amazing. It's very unheard of almost, and what a great guy. We had opportunity to work with him, and he was willing to help us do this. Can't thank him enough. And his products are gorgeous. And this mat, that Ryan Lockett mat, you play Arboretum, you play just any we played photosynthesis on it, and it looked like $1 million. And there's, like you say, Everdell, so many options.
About caught up on questions, it looks like.
I'll give you a little heads up in case we have any more questions. What's coming next? We've been in talks with our manufacturer, who we work with our engineers for the sizing and the product specifications, some of the testing. In addition to that, our manufacturer is a large manufacturer in our hometown. You saw our little fulfillment center. To us, it's a big deal, but when you go over to their place, it's a big deal. They have 120 employees and quite the facility and production capabilities. They have CNC machines that are $750,000. They're at a whole nother level, but we have such a great partnership. The owner and I are we each have each other's cell phone and we call one another. That's how good of a relationship that is. And they've been so good to respond. They have the same challenges that we have. We're human beings. We have human beings working for us. Not everything is perfect in this world, but it's how well do you respond when you do have troubles or you need to modulate. And they've really been spectacular about those things. I'm so grateful for them. And they've really been able to help us achieve this goal. They have the capacity to do some of the things that we're talking about. So this last week, we've been listening to a lot of your concerns about adding on the XL cross support system and legs for somebody that would want to put a leg kit underneath an XL topper, like the XL Holmes or the XL Watson. Well, in our video that's on our YouTube channel, the leg kit assembly, I think that'll put all of your concerns to bed. When you see the video and how easy it is to assemble, how stable it is, it held a Berkey. That's saying something. It's really, we were really pleased with how well the XL solution worked with the extra cross support. We are recommending that you get 2 extra legs so that you have a third leg. This with that big 103-inch outside dimension span, 3 legs still allow you to get 3 to 4 people on that edge, and you'd have a center leg to support the leaf, but they're only 1.5 inches around, so it'll be easy to straddle around them or whatever. It's I think a nice solution. It's much more stable than a plastic folding table, so it's really pretty cool. We're going to make a bundle. My daughter is working on the graphics right now. You met Hannah in the last Q&A, and she's working on a special XL leg bundle for our backers. She'll be able to add that on. That's coming. We also met with our engineer to talk about our cover, dining cover. I've spoke with our manufacturers for those solutions, and we're working on providing a 24-inch part. It's still in discussion whether we're going to break that up into 2 12-inch pieces. And we're working out all the math. We're working on the drawings. You just got to give us a little time because we got to think about a lot of things. It goes beyond just, okay, you can do this, this, and this. That's the easy part. The harder part is what are the yields based on how the companies cut the product, and there's a variety of ways that they use, smaller sample pieces that they cut that have an overlap, a bleed, so that they can do the routing, and then they cut these in bulk. That can affect yield. That affects cost. We have a real problem in the world right now with wood products. Anybody went and bought a 2x4 lately? It's a problem. costs have gone up 200% with wood products. Many of the manufacturers are having a hard time even getting them. The people we're working with have supply chain, but they're being impacted. I took that into account when we priced our product. This is probably and I'm being real transparent and honest with everybody, this is probably the only thing that really concerns me about fulfillment on anything. It's not whether we'll be able to do it, it's just that this is the only thing that maybe it could be a delay issue. And it's like, we're going to hit our targets. I really believe that. I don't have any worries. I think we've built in enough time and done enough pre-planning, but wood could become an issue because of the summer buildings timing and all of that. We've told you that November is the timing for that wave 2, and that's when we expected to deliver the dining covers. I think we can still hit it based on what I'm hearing, but that's the biggest unknown to me in this whole campaign. Hopefully it won't be a problem. If it is, it'll be, I think, a slight problem, but let people be aware that I can't control everything as much as I try. And I'd rather be honest with you about those things and let you know that, hey, this is something that I'm seeing as a potential delay, not a problem with manufacturing. These things can be produced at the plants we're talking within 4 weeks. So it's just the raw material issues. So I'm not overly worried about it, but that's the scoop with these dining covers. And we are trying to make configurations so that we can give you a kind of a solution for like the smaller toppers, the Lestrade. It might not fit it perfectly edge to edge like our other designs, but enough to provide a cover solution. And that becomes a super big challenge, trying to make one just for Lestrade owners, because we don't have that many just Lestrade owners, to be honest. Most people own a Watson or a Holmes or a Mycroft. And so it's hard to focus one product on a small subset, even though we care deeply and really appreciate everyone's support. I hope that kind of explains that. Is there a couple questions around that?
We have Billion says, have you considered reaching out to Andrew Bosley, Everdale, for a new mat?
Oh, that would be great. He is in super high demand. I've actually thought about it a couple times. We have a couple mats that do work nicely with it, but yeah, that would be great. I'd love to work with the Cuddingtons also. I talked to Kwanchai Moria and talked with Ian O'Toole. And these are all artists that I highly respect. They are booked solid. It's really difficult. And so we'll keep trying. We'll see what happens.
Lance says, you might not be able to do all the ideas, but you will be able to do the Happy Mouth game topper, right?
Yeah, we're going to make a custom form for that. It's about a $40,000 mold, but it'll emulsify the spices first, and then we add a hardening agent to make the rails. It's going to be amazing. You're going to love it. Oh, boy.
Sandy says, if I have already backed just a topper, can I upgrade to a package with accessories? Do you just add the price difference to your pledge? So what you can actually do is you can still adjust your pledge to one of the other pledge levels instead for the packages. Would probably be the best option there, just to make sure that everything, like if you're wanting one of the Wave 1 packages we have, that you get in on that. And so that you're not delayed until Wave 2 for those options, depending on exactly what you're looking at. But yeah, you have those options. We also have a number of accessory packages or bundles, I should say, as well that you can add in the Pledge Manager. The Virtuoso bundle is one that's great for cup holders. We already mentioned the double dice tower bundle. So we have a lot of options there.
That poker chip bundle where you get 4 of the poker chip trays at a significant discount. We even unlocked, or we just I uploaded a whole bunch of future stretch goals where you can get 4 of the mat storage bags for only $29 instead of $15 each. I mean, that's a crazy good deal because we have a lot of people that own a lot of different kinds of mats and they wanted a mat bag. So I'm listening, and yeah, I can do that.
Ryan says, Raymond, wanted to let you know your video you did for Berkey and Company was a big reason I pledged. It was very helpful. Thanks for joining today.
Thank you very much, Ryan. It was a fun video to make. I mean, it's really easy to get enthusiastic about this product because it's just such a good product. So yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, thanks so much for that. I wish you wouldn't have said that because now I owe Raymond more money. No, I so appreciate all of our reviewers. They've they've seen the product in action. They all own the product. I have a few sponsorships where people have purchased the product at a discount, but overall, these are people who have gotten the product and are enthusiastic backers. And I'm not telling them what they have to say. I let them do what they want. I didn't tell you to do anything with your video. I just, here's our media kit. So here's some graphic assets, but do whatever's your gig, you know, and I respect that. And I think that holds true when you see the amount of people in the industry that are talking about Game Toppers in a positive light. It's because they've had good experiences and they believe in it. These people aren't just trying to shill stuff, you know, there might be a few, but I mean, overall, people are good folks that are, they don't want to tell you that it's a good product if it's not. It makes them look bad if it's not a good product, right?
Yeah.
So.
Ryan says, we can play Century Spice Road on that topper.
Happy Mouse Century Spice Road edition, number 4. Well,
so, Berkey, just a quick question for the European backers. Like you said, because you also ship to Europe and worldwide. And so how does that work? Do you have a hub in Europe somewhere that ships out from there?
Thank you. I'm so glad you're asking me some of these questions so that I can address the European thought process too. It's because we're really grateful to be able to offer this to 18 countries in the EU and a few countries outside of the EU, the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, even Singapore. And even countries outside of what we're offering, we can do custom quotes. It's crazy expensive in some cases, so that's why we don't list them, but we can do it. So if the shipping cost isn't a worry, we'll do whatever we can to help. I just had a call from someone in Israel that wants a quote, and so we're going to find out what it costs them and if that's doable for them, so they can have this solution in Israel. European, we have a wonderful partner in Leipzig, Germany. It's Fulfillment Europe. Melanie Dulsner is the owner, and she's one of the most hardworking gals I've ever met in this industry. She's just fantastic. We delivered a whole 40-foot high container of Game Toppers that were distributed all through that region, and we didn't have one snag. I mean, it just went brilliantly. We had one little mistake we made here that we sent to them. We had to correct, but we had sent extra material there, so we were able to swap it out. But that was just a little error on our part, and we were able to fix it really quick with their help. And we still actually, I think that we have just a very limited amount of stuff there for our show kit. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to make Essen this year. Sadly, well, we're still thinking about it, but it doesn't look like that might work for us, but we'll see. But that fulfillment partner relationship is fantastic. We also have a good partner in the UK that we're going to be able to work with to get direct shipments there. So that's the shipping situation there. And most of the product is delivered by Schnecker. And is it Schnecker? And the product is palletized, so it comes to the door in a really safe fashion. We haven't had any damages, so that's been really, really fantastic. Any other thoughts from Europe that you can think of that people might want to know?
Well, you handle VAT, obviously, right? So it's basically backer friendly. Everything is handled in the pledge manager, so you know upfront how much that is going to cost you and how much shipping is total. So yeah, if you're unsure of how much a topper would cost, you could always say, well, I definitely want like a mat, and you get the a la carte pledge level for, I think it's $25, right? And you can just use the pledge manager to calculate what it would cost to get a topper to your house, and just see how much VAT and shipping that would be, and then adjust your pledge, and then just get what you want. So you don't have to do that right now during the Kickstarter if you're unsure about the costs, and do it later. So that works really well. And like you said, yeah, they did deliver it here in a truck on a pallet with a very friendly driver who rode it up right to our door and unloaded it, took the pallet back and everything. So that was really well organized. I'm really happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been super pleased with them, and that relationship is still in really good standing. So there's been some changes to different laws and tax things. So we've been making some adjustments. One of the things that's so different with European product versus product domestically, Americans are very accustomed to paying a sales tax on product after they buy it. So the sales tax isn't included in the purchase price, generally speaking. Online sales are a little different depending on the state. You have Nexus in and blah, blah, blah. Gets kind of complicated and how much volume you do. But overseas, we've noticed that a lot of times when you buy a product, the tax is already included in the sale price. Well, that's a backwards thinking for the way we calculate things. So we have to add that onto the price of the product that we can offer. And it would be really clumsy in our campaign to have a separate European price that included the tax and a domestic one, because most of our sales obviously are domestic and Canadian sales. So that's why that'll calculate that all really nicely for you. But we take care of it all. So you don't have to pay any extra duties. You don't have to pay anything else. We handle the brokerage, all of that, and it gets right to you. And our shipping rates, honestly, I know it's a big dollar amount, if you're spending a couple $100, $250 to ship, but I've looked at our competitors and their big tables that they ship even intra-Europe, and our rates are in line with that. And if we were shipping this product one at a time across the ocean, they would cost almost $800. This is a big honking box. It's heavy. It's a big deal. But by us being able to combine all of this product in a container right to that fulfillment center and then do distribution, we're able to offer these. I mean, honestly, that big mat, 10 pounds worth of big package, shipping to you from the United States through our system only being $25, that's a crazy good deal. It's money you have to consider, obviously, so that's up to you. But as far as doing it affordably, we've found some ways to be creative, I think, that really can help. So with that, next week, we are going to be doing another Q&A video, but we're also going to be revealing a few new products. At the end of next week, we hope to have a couple prototypes of some things that I think are going to be really exciting. And I wish I could have showed them to you sooner. Prior to this campaign, we had a lot of delays with prototyping things, so it drove me up a wall. We were going to start the 1st of April. And I just felt like now we need a little more time so we can do this well. But this particular product is in production for a sample for us. And we're going to be able to reveal it. I think you're going to like it. We have some other stuff that is in the works as well. So stay with us. Stay with all these updates, and hopefully keep pushing forward so we can hit these big goals. Let's get to $1 million and see if Berkey will shave his beard.
Oh, don't. Don't shave the beard.
Maybe I could just get handlebar mustaches or something.
Yeah.
See, what you do is you make a poll where at $1 million they decide if you shave it or not.
Or color it purple. I will not be getting a tattoo in unique places on my body because I don't care about the money that much.
Brian asks, Friday next week as well for the live stream. When were you thinking?
Yeah, we probably will do 2 of them next week, but probably at the end of the week is the one I'm hoping to have the reveal. The first part of the week, we're looking to do a reveal video of the dining cover setup. We've taken some footage. We have a prototype here that is not production value. It's not a final product. There's things on it that we wouldn't accept the way they are now. Of course, that's the process of prototyping. You get things, you tweak it, you make sure it's right. You guys know me. I am super diligent about all the details. You don't have to worry about me sending you something that's not up to my standards. Trust me, it'll be right. But that video, we were able to show a lot of the functionality of it, show the edges better, how nicely it matches over the wood inlays. And we're going to reveal that video just like we did with the leg kit video. So that'll give everybody a good feeling about what's happening on that. And we continue to work on the leg kit solutions and the dining solutions for the Mycroft larger toppers and the Moriarty and the Adler that we'll be revealing in first quarter of 2022 if everything goes well. So that's exciting for the future. I wish I could have had it ready now, but it's coming, and so we'll continue due diligence on all of that.
Ryan says, or shave your head.
Or shave my head. Oh Lord, it's kind of shaving back here, but that would be it. Berkey bald and beardless. I'd look like Charlie Brown. I'm telling you, I got a round head. I'm a round header.
I kind of want to see this, but anyway.
Oh Lord, 1.25 million. A million, the beard goes. 1.25, I'm bald, round-headed Berkey. I think it looks like Raymond.
Yeah.
You look good, though. You got a nice head shape, you know?
Thanks.
Nathan asks, I'm not sure if I'm too late, but I have a question on shipping. In the US and Canada, does everything come on a skid/pallet? No, they do not. So in the US and Canada, everything ends up shipping. So in the US, we use UPS for the majority. Occasionally, we've used some other white glove delivery service, but they don't go on a pallet in either of those cases. The pallet shipping ends up being more expensive cost-wise, so it's usually not efficient to do that. So they just come right to your door in the package. The package is still large for the toppers, but it doesn't have a pallet or need to have a big semi or anything like that coming generally. And Canada is a similar situation. So
the one thing you'll notice too, Randy and Ellen Kirby from We Game Together did an unboxing video of our product, which was really great, showing you the packaging. Last year, we went several notches up in our packaging. We had a reasonably industry standard failure rate the first Kickstarter. I wanted to do better. We spent a lot of money, a lot of research. My packaging costs, you just wouldn't believe some of the costs that we incur to do this. But I wanted to make sure that you had a good customer experience, the best I could offer. Shippers are notorious for not being careful. Our European shipping has been amazing. United States, this last year, though, UPS has just done a really great job. Things were timely. They've implemented a lot of surcharges and things like that are disturbing, but they've really done a good job about the delivery. In addition, our packaging has held up brilliantly. We were less than 1% failure rate with these big packages, but the new foam cushioning that we put in there, the way we package the components is really good. I feel really comfortable. I sleep at night. The first year we had like 35 units or something that had damage out of 600 or 800 or something. That drove me up a wall. Every time I just ached when somebody said, hey, I got this in and I got a dent, or I got, whatever. The floor was punctured with a forklift. I can't fix stupid. I can't fix stupid. I want to, but I can't fix it. But I've got to do the best I can. And so I really feel good about what we've done. If you go back on our YouTube channel a ways back, about a year and a half ago, we even have published our drop tests, where you can see where blind, we packaged a pack just like we do it, and we dropped it from our 4-foot loading dock onto the concrete floor like 4 times before we opened it up. I said, no, keep dropping it, because it's going to maybe get dropped 2 or 3 times in transit. We kept dropping it, and then we opened it up and didn't have any problems, and that proved through all of the packages that we shipped last year. So in our small packages, we've had virtually very, very few issues with those.
Yeah, that's about it for questions.
Well, I think we've gone long enough. We'll see you next week. Continue, please, to share the campaign. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's get this thing to the moon so I can reveal all of these other products, and frankly, a lot of bigger discounts that I'm planning, where things are going to be added to packages at lower prices, and even some of the things free. But I need to hit some big numbers to be able to make those concessions. So let's keep pushing on this thing. Let's make this thing sing, and I'll do the best I can for you. And with that, Game Toppers question and answer 3.0. Did you have anything else?
Thanks for joining us, Raymond.
And Raymond, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, they can find me on YouTube. You can just enter the URL www.boardgameheaven.nl. That will just take you directly to my YouTube channel, and there you can subscribe, and then you'll see all my videos, my reviews, and etc. I've got a Facebook page, and they can find me on Twitter and Instagram as well, and that's all listed. So that's easy to find. Yeah. That's it. You can contact me over Facebook as well.
Raymond's been really great in the chat too, so feel free. He might not have all the intimate details we know about deliveries and little specific things, but he's always really thoughtful about that. If he doesn't know, he'll tell you he doesn't know, and we'll get us involved. But he's got a good handle, so especially while we've been sleeping, it's just been really great. If there's been an occasional comment that he was suited to handle, you can feel confident he's going to give you a good answer one way or the other. And it's really appreciated, Raymond. So thank you so much.
No worries. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're going to sign off. Thanks again, Game Topper Nation.
Bye, everybody.